Welcome to the ArmChair GM's podcast with your hosts Dylan Simpson and Chris Ruback.
Oh, baby. Here we go. ArmChair GM Podcast coming at you. Episode 6. I'm Chris. Got Dylan. Got Ty. Dylan, why don't you start us off? What are we talking about this week?
Well, first of all, I want to let everyone know we've kind of decided and invited Ty to become more of a full-timer. He fit in really well last week and seemed to enjoy himself. So welcome in.
I'm here for it.
I can't believe he accepted that signing bonus. $12 means a lot to somebody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You know, like it's going to keep me off the streets. You know, keep me from going homeless. So
Yeah. Keep you off Hastings.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so welcome in. Happy to announce that. Also, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to cover, obviously, Johnny Gaudreau getting 100 points. That's, you know, as Eric Francis said, that would never have happened if it wasn't for the elite company he holds himself in. But
Ryan Leslie is a champ for putting him on the spot like that. In
Yeah, that was
broadcast.
awesome.
that was
Sarchi was just ripping on him too. It was great.
It's great.
Yeah,
news.
yeah. And also we're going to talk a little bit about our seventh defenseman and being, you know, Mike Stone and Juuso Välimäki, Connor Mackey, and I guess Oliver Shillington isn't really our seventh, but we will talk about him as well. Just a little bit of the younger, for the most part, depth blue line guys. And yeah, let's get started.
Should we start off with the recap, the week that was?
Yeah.
Because I mean, first time we actually swept California, right? Since the last time we talked, we beat Anaheim 4-2. We beat San Jose 4-2. We beat Seattle 4-1. Then Seattle again 5-3. That was a great road trip. We needed a couple of points and decided to get all 8. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It's nice to be able to go, you know, on the road in those spots, you know, historically speaking, the last 20 years or whatever, like Anaheim's been death for us, and LA's, you know, spent 10 years doing nothing but winning, and San Jose had that, you know, 20-year long playoff, you know, contender.
Mhm.
But didn't we have that curse too in Anaheim? Like we couldn't win in their building for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I think it was like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, it was insane.
You couldn't win in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that one year we matched up with them in the playoffs and like they had home advantage. I was just like, oh, we have no chance. Why are we even watching this?
Yeah.
It was hard times, right? When you see those dates on the calendar, you know, at that time it was pretty much like we're going to be trying to exercise a demon that isn't coming.
Yeah.
You know, like when we finally did it, when was it? 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the year we had Furlan, we had Yager. That was a weird team.
It was a weird team. Yeah. By rights, they were just starting to rebuild at that time too. So obviously that helps. But once you get that first win, it's just like the way sports are. It snowballs from there, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was really interesting too, because like you'd think just geographically that the travel wouldn't be that bad, but it was really interesting listening to actually Rick Ball do a piece on the travel there, and Sutter also talked about it. But apparently you can't fly into San Jose late at night.
Right. Yeah.
So they all the teams, I guess, have to fly somewhere else and then bus into San Jose. Even though they're like, you know, only a couple hours away or whatever from Anaheim, right? Or LA or wherever they were. But yeah, I didn't know that, and it kind of makes sense why teams would go through California and be so tired.
I mean, that's not even so bad though. Like you're driving through California, you got the windows down, you got you probably got a couple of cold pops in you, having a good time on the road.
Yeah, it's 19 degrees in December. Simmer down, people. Fuck.
Yeah, you're driving by. The beaches are full of like probably gorgeous women in bikinis. Who knows?
I hate that. That's the worst.
Keep me away from there.
Sounds terrible. Like
Terrible,
I would hate
yeah.
to do that.
Oh man, 2-hour bus ride.
I like how Monahan keeps getting farther and farther back there, Chris. He's like, you can barely see him back there now.
Well, see what's happening is I'm just getting closer to the camera. I mean, yeah, I'm actually going to build a shelf here just so I can just put him on it because he's going to be on the shelf for a while.
Yeah,
The rest
long
of his
term.
career.
Just put him up there and put him in a body cast.
It's the old LTI shelf.
Yeah,
Wrap him up real good.
yeah, wrap him up, and between him and Shillington, I mean, God, just a couple of guys that just can't stay
Send you a
healthy for the
I'll
life
send
of
you
them.
a roll of bubble wrap.
There you go. That's what I need.
That's what Monahan needs. Some bubble wrap.
You mentioned Shillington there. Should we just kind of jump into the D conversation then?
Well, I was just thinking that's kind of where I thought we'd go with that, with talking about injuries, and he's finally back now, so life is good, right? Life
It
is
looks like
good.
he's practicing back on that second line.
Richie and Riziska.
Yeah, you know what?
That was yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday was, yeah.
Yeah, today they got Valimaki in there on that spot. So,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that means that there's some popcorn in his future, but
yeah, totally. Hopefully,
right.
yeah. I mean, Valimaki last season. Let's look at that. 49 games played, 11 points. He was -2. Like not great. This year he's got 9 games played, 2 points, and he's 0. So he's even so far.
Yeah.
What do we think
He's
about
not. Yeah,
What I think about him is there's a reason why he's played 30 games in Stockton this year.
Right.
And even in Stockton, he's only got 17 points in 30 games, right?
Yeah.
And a +5
that? Yeah, not great.
on a winning team. Like they're
winning
kicking
team.
some ass this year.
On a dominating team. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you compare that with Mackey, who's he's played 53 games, obviously. He's got 36 points and he's a +15, 83 penalty minutes, which I love that.
Well, you even look at like Valimaki like the season before. So he played 20 games in the A and he only had 14 points. He was +9. So like his stats are decreasing. Like this, it's not a good look for him.
It's not. It really isn't.
No. And I hate to be that guy with Valimaki because he once had all of this potential. He had all the potential in the world. He was this,
Well, he was the guy. He was the up and comer for
points.
sure.
Yeah, and he led the SHL in points, not just from defensemen, but from all players when he was over in Europe there. He was wearing that stupid gold helmet, and now I feel like he's just declining. It all started
that's what
with
he needs.
that, destroyed leg. Was that?
He needs that gold bucket back. So we should maybe just send him to Vegas. That could be his his comeback.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. Yeah, I mean,
the old C3PO helmet.
What a fucking stupid thing that is.
Clearly Sutter has an issue with Yuso, right? There's a reason why he doesn't get ice time. The reason why he's not even with the team, other than when we had an injury.
So I have, sticking with Yuso, I have a question for you guys. What do you think is the problem with Yuso? Why is he in the AHL? Why does he not play when he's in the NHL level? What is
his attitude?
Yep, that's what I was going to say too.
We paid it 20. Well, he's 23 years old now, but we paid a 22-year-old $1.55 million a season, and he wasn't ready for it. He thinks he's better than he is. He thinks he doesn't have to continue to improve, and quite frankly, he's as far as the depth charts go for defensemen on this team, he's the one that needs to improve the most. Mackey jumped over him. He makes almost half the amount of him. Oliver jumped way over him. Makes half of what he makes. To me, it's not his ability. It's never been his ability. It's completely mental for him. He just needs to get over himself.
Yeah,
start listening to
we're not in
coaches.
the locker room, so we're not in the locker room. We don't know that for a fact, but even just like looking at the season he's had and that issue he had with the refs that got him suspended, like that kind of just shows his character right there, right?
It really does. Yeah, it really does. And he's dropped in the depth charts even in Stockton, which is not what you want.
Yeah, like he was playing second pairing minutes in Stockton like last month or whatever. Like, and so my thought is also mental, but it's not so much what you were saying where like he's too cocky or whatever, he's too full of himself or whatever. I think it's mental in the fact that I remember watching highlights and games and stuff from when he was in the SHL and he was making split-second decisions. He was going and going and going and whipping the puck around without thinking. And every time he's been on the NHL roster, he hesitates. He overthinks it and either causes a giveaway or something like that.
Right. I mean, it's different ice, it's a different playing style. Like European hockey is so much different than like right here in North America, right?
Absolutely. And it's fair to to do that. Excuse me, to do that. Hesitate every once in a while. When you first get over, but like it's been 3-4 years or whatever, and I don't think we can blame the size of the ice anymore. I think something's in his head and he just can't make split-second decisions anymore. If you watch him while he's playing, the correct thought goes through his head and he almost does it, and then he stops and thinks about it for a split second, and then that allows the opposing defenseman to get over.
Could that be because he had more freedom maybe playing with his European clubs, like in the SHL? Like he didn't have the coaches breathing down his neck telling him how to play. He was just able to naturally play his own style, right?
That's possible.
That's possible. I mean, also you have to consider the fact that it's completely different talent there too. He's playing against much better players now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So maybe he just can't handle it, right? He potentially just isn't the person we thought we drafted.
Yeah,
he's played 82 games in the NHL. He's got 3 goals, 13 assists, and I guess he's an even player through that time, but whatever. I mean,
I see a package deal coming. Perhaps him and maybe someone with a little number 23 on their back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that, right? Because we're going to have to give some sort of a prospect or some sort of a sweetener to free up Monahan's cap. And as far as I'm concerned, I think Valimaki could potentially be a good piece of that. He could be a project for another team. You never know, right? Like I feel like
work out. He's still got time to work.
100%. Yep. He's only 23 years old, right? Mm-hmm. He still has potentially a lot of career left.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But I really, last year is when Sutter came in. You could tell that's when things changed for him.
Yeah.
Like last year, he played 49 games, and it was the last 6 when Sutter came in and went, okay, you know what?
Yeah, you're done, kid.
Yeah,
you're done.
You're done, son.
Yeah.
You're
not a farmer.
I totally thought that he was going to be that, that next power play quarterback because he has those natural talents and skills. But I mean, he's not even doing it in the AHL, right?
No, he's not exactly. He's not. And who do we have as our power play quarterbacks? Right now we've got Michael Stone with that bomb. We've got Hannafin, who's shooting a ton right now and hitting the net almost every time he shoots.
Yeah. And then rock solid Rasmus on number 1. He's the old razzle dazzle special.
Right.
Yeah. I'm really actually enjoying how the 2 power play units have such a different look right now. Yeah, I mean, they're not scoring as much as I'd like them to, but I like the different look of one unit that is pass, make a great opportunity and shoot, score, and another one that's just like get the puck to Stone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Our 2 different game plans are skill and then grind. right? Like, I mean, it's such a grinder line for a second power play, which is great.
I mean, I didn't pay attention last game. Is Lucci still on our second power play? I know he was in and out of it a little bunch here recently.
I don't think he was last night.
No, I don't recall seeing him on it. But
yeah, it was probably Yarncroc, Backlund, Dubé, and Manji. Oh no, because they put Stone and Hannafin out there, so even a forward was off it.
Yeah,
it was probably Yarncroc that wasn't on it then.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of power play too, we got Manji there, he's in a bit of a slump until last night, right?
Well,
he got that goal
last night.
Yeah,
he scored last night, which is good. You know, he's had a tough couple of months, right? He hasn't looked.
Do we think what's the issue here? Is he on like the wrong line? Is it not his playing style?
I honestly don't think that he's ready for top six play.
So he's generally on the second line.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and kind of look at his hot streaks and his, you know, when he scores lots and when he looks really good, he's playing on the third line.
Yeah. And
like, it's weird because the second and third line don't really get that different time on ice for the most part. Under Sutter's system, they kind of even out. But I find that he just plays better when he's on the third line, whatever line that happens to be that night, you know, whoever he's with. And it's the same with Dubé. Dubé plays better when he's second line center than he does anything else, right? Third line center.
Simmer down.
I mean, I feel like, didn't Dubé get all those points when he was moved up to the second line? Like recently?
No, I thought he got all those points while he was playing second line center or third line center.
Oh, I thought it was second line winger.
Because he got moved over from the wing to center, and then he started getting points and being noticeable.
Yeah, and for Mangiapane, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not ready to be top six. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's gonna. I think his ceiling is middle six, which is not bad.
That's great. That's great.
I just don't see a lot of chemistry between him and Backlund. And Backlund is our second line center, and I think that's kind of the thing. So once he gets back onto the third line, you know, more of a grinding line, which is weird to say when it comes to Mangiapane because he's not really a grinder per se. I mean, he tries his heart out. I'll give him that.
He has a grinding mentality, but he can't stay on his feet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even necessarily think our third line is like a grinder line.
Sure,
you know, it's still like a lethal like scoring threat.
They're high energy.
Yeah,
they're high energy for sure.
One thing I do think should stay is Mangiapane with Toffoli on the other wing because he's another like high scoring guy. I just think they need a different center than Backlund. Whether it's Dubé, whether it's Yarncroc, like someone's a little more offensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Like Backlund and Mangiapane don't seem to be melding that well together.
Yeah. And let's be honest, a shutdown, like if you put Dubé in between those two guys, and then you have, you know, Backlund with Coleman and Yarncroc, that's a fairly elite shutdown, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all.
But yeah, Suter's mentality is probably he's trying to space out the defensive with the offensive. And, you know, it is working. We are where we're at, but I mean, could it be the next step if they all slot up properly? Yeah,
I'm gonna make everybody who watches this podcast hate me a little bit right now, but I have a prediction for Mangiapane and his kind of future with the team.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's looking. I mean, fortunately, because it means the other two forwards we got to pay are you know, making, you know, a case for them to make absurd amounts of money.
Are they making that case though?
Trigger warning, it's happening. I can feel it coming.
Yeah, no, I do. I think Gaudreau and Kachuk are both going to be, you know, if not 10, awfully fucking close to it.
You're out to fucking lunch, Dylan.
I know, right? But and then you know, we got to sign Shillington and you know, we don't have a third pair anymore after this. Like, I see Mangiapane getting tendered as an RFA and not being re-signed. Whether he gets traded or offer sheeted or something, I feel like he's the cap casualty.
I can feel our followers are just dipping off right now.
They're gone.
We just lost everyone.
They're gone.
Way to go.
I am not saying I want that to happen because I like where Mangiapane's game can go.
That's not the clip they're gonna trend on Twitter, by the way. They're just gonna take the negative and say he's gone. Dylan said he's gone. You heard it here first, folks. Dylan said Mangiapane is gone.
So I think it's the opposite. I think Mangiapane is safe. I think Shillington's gone because Stone kind of showed that he can fill in that spot. Plus, I think Mackey's up and coming.
Mackey. So I guess we can talk about Mackey now too. That first game he came up and played, he looked 100% ready for Shillington's spot.
Yeah.
He looked, great with Tanev. And then the other two games, he kind of didn't look quite as good. He looked a little off. I don't know why, but to me, he looked a little bit less good, but he still looked pretty good. So yes, I could see that being a thing too.
I mean, in terms of Mackey, like something I've always kept in the back of my head when watching our rookies play or like anyone fresh to it is you can't really judge anyone based on their first game. They've got nerves going on. They got the jitters. They got a ton of adrenaline going on. So it's like their second and third game. That's where you're really seeing who that player is as a professional and as an athlete on the ice. So maybe Mackey's not quite ready yet.
No, maybe not, but that doesn't mean he won't be ready. Like, he's likely going to go down and have a lengthy playoff run with Stockton and grow as a player that much more.
Yeah.
And then maybe even get a few games with the big club, in the playoffs if there's injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the one that gets called up first after
Absolutely.
Stockton gets whether they win or get eliminated. I think Connor will be the first one that they bring up.
Me too.
I think he's the one that deserves it. Brad honestly thought that he was going to make the club this year, which as did I. I did
too.
I didn't think Branson would be as good as he's been. I actually had higher hopes for Zadorov than you did. Which is
I had very low expectations for Z. I was not feeling him at all.
I had very low.
That's fair. And through training camp, I mean, rightfully so, he didn't look good.
I mean,
that whole training camp was a fucking mess.
Yeah, every time Z had the puck in our zone for quite a while there, he would stick handle it and he would just fall on his ass.
Yeah,
and then something would happen. A turnover. It was horrible. And I remember,
his passing was terrible. His hitting was terrible. Like everything about his game was horrendous for training camp. It really was. The fact that
he's turned it around.
Oh, both of them have, and Gudbranson didn't look good, and like he looked pretty much just as bad as Zadorov did in training camp, and now now both of them, like that's for my money, that's the best effect.
I don't see others any way we're head of the Pacific without those two guys.
Right.
Oh, fuck no.
Yep, no, 100%.
No.
What would it be? We'd have Valimaki in there.
God damn it.
I had to say that again.
We at least have Connor Mackey anyways, and Stone, which I love Stone. I don't know about a full year of Stone.
Right.
Well, I do know about a full year of Stone. I would, I
well, he's getting that age too where he might be a little like injury prone. I don't like saying that word because you never know what a person's going through, but Stone's dealt with some injuries in the past.
I mean, he almost died. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not sure if you can really call a blood clot injury prone. I mean,
right.
I think like it's not like his bones keep breaking or something. That was just a freak.
Yeah, that was.
He had like other injuries too during that year.
Did he? I just remember the blood clot because it was such a big thing.
So Michael Stone has only played, I guess, 2 full seasons in the NHL.
Right.
Arizona,
14-15, he played 81 games, and 17-18 in Calgary played 82.
Okay.
Other than that, if you go right down the list, Scott. So I'm going to start right off from 2011. Okay, 13, 40, 70, 81, 75, 64, 45, 19, 82, 14, 13, 21, and now 10.
Those are games played,
So I would feel really good about Stone being more of a full-timer, more like a 55, 60 game type of guy who then, you can call people up or take whoever that seventh defenseman is and plug them in, and
100%.
Stone would need a rest, right? So you can sit him down for 2-3 games here and there, but he plays 7 or 8 out of 10 games and then has a couple games off type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I basically Stone should be what our backup goaltender should be.
Okay, fair.
Right?
Yep.
55 games, 60 games.
You mean our starting goaltender? Yeah,
sorry, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. The opposite of that.
What backup's getting fucking 55 starts? Holy shit, that's a Bennington level.
Hey, you made your bold prediction. My bold prediction is next year Vladar starts 60 games.
Oh Jesus.
And Wolf starts 22.
Yeah. Gotta go with the fan base. Why isn't Wolf getting starts? Like our backup goalie isn't getting starts. Jesus Christ, slow down.
$6 million goalie in the press box eating popcorn, getting fat.
Riding the bike.
We talked about the defenseman a whole lot. I think there's an elephant in the room that we haven't discussed yet. That's Johnny. He just hit that 100-point mark. That's huge.
Oh,
it's fucking massive.
Was that last night?
Who?
Dude, that was last night. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. So there's actually a stat I saw today, and it's today marks 8 years ago when Johnny scored his first goal on his first shot in his first NHL game. He's now got 595 points in 593 games. So
he's more than a point a game. Oh yeah, that would
more
make
than
sense.
A point a game.
Yeah.
And he just got his 100th last night, and today is 8 years ago when he got his first point. So I mean, that's huge. Cool. It's almost poetic, really.
Yeah. And his family was there to see it, and it was a really good scene. And we all knew it was coming. And like Johnny said a couple weeks ago, or like a week ago or whatever, he said, unless I play the worst 12 games of my career, then I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and he also said yesterday that he thinks Tkachuk's going to get there too. So
yeah. So Tkachuk needs 8 points in 9 games, and if he does that. The only team we had recently, it's not even recently, it's last team we had that had 2 players who were over 100 was 90-91. That was Fleury. He had 51 goals and 104 points, and McInnes had 28 goals and 103 points.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We haven't had a player in Calgary that has reached the 100-point plateau since 92-93 for Theo, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if Jerome would have got there if he had because he was an elite goal scorer, right? But if he didn't play in the dead puck era.
Well, and what did we say for pretty much his entire time here is we need a number one center. We need a number one center. Never got a number one center ever.
And when we did, I'd say Jokinen was a number one center.
Not for us. I mean, he was for us, but shouldn't have been.
You don't think so?
His career was going down by that point. I guess depending on which time you're talking about, first or second. But I mean, that was the hope.
Well, I was talking first, but
yeah, that was the hope. But I didn't. He really, in the whole scheme of the league.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
And like Camilleri was always really good at scoring goals, but again, he wasn't. To me, he wasn't that number one center we needed.
Yeah, Camilleri's not driving the play. I mean, he finishes the play.
Yeah. And like honestly, imagine if Jerome and Tanguay. It's funny because it almost looks like the line we have now. Like if they had a Lindholm or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like you've got your Johnny and Tanguay, your elite playmaker. I mean, obviously Johnny's better than Tanguay was. And then you've got your power forward Tkachuk Iginla, and then didn't have the center, so can't really talk about that. But
I can't even remember who was the center for those guys.
Jokinen and Camilleri.
Yeah.
Camilleri played center. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he played center for them for 1 year, I think.
Okay.
If not 2.
Yeah.
I know Jokinen played center for a couple, and like I think they had Conroy in there too. Like Conroy was never ever in his career a number one or even a first line player, right?
No, but
Well, I mean,
he had heart.
yeah,
He did. He was a great, second, third liner for his whole career, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's kind of the same as like, was Ferland ever a first liner?
Ferland was never a first liner. Ferland was a second, third.
Yeah.
Right.
So we spent that long finding the right winger.
Yeah. I mean, we all loved Ferland for playoffs against Vancouver in 2015. That was amazing. That was one of the best individual efforts I've ever seen in a Flames jersey for decades in a playoff. Like, it was unreal.
Agreed.
Yeah. That was great. But no, he was not a first line.
No, and he never was. And he'd go through spurts where he scored like it, but he was also playing with Gaudreau and Monahan, who would easily take all of the coverage off of him, and he'd punch faces. And
well, that's right. That's right. How many times did Ferland get that feed at the top of the circle for a shot? Right, like he would, Johnny would just be doing fucking circles around any team he wanted at the time because he was really good at it and still is. And then boop, gone. Kind of like what he's doing with Lindholm right now, right? Not saying Lindholm is not an elite scorer. That's not what I'm saying at all. But
but
I tell you, I mean, when
if
when
you
Elias
take
comes into the zone or past the circle towards the net, Johnny has this uncanny ability to find Lindholm in front of the net.
And like Lindholm does these crazy like big ass loops.
Yeah.
And just loses every player on the other team. Every player on the other team has seen him in the last 2 seconds, but he loses all of them. And Johnny just like sits behind the net and watches it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a thing of beauty, right? Because you have Johnny behind the net, so he's bringing in at least one guy, likely two. Then you have Chucky over in the corner, waiting for a pass just in case Johnny gets in trouble. So he's bringing in one, maybe two guys.
Yeah.
And then there's just number 28 just, hey, look at me out front with room for days. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
It's almost as predictable as watching Ovechkin at the hash marks during a power play, right?
Yeah, no
right?
kidding.
Like, if you see Johnny behind the net, my advice is to look over your left and right shoulder and see where 28 is. Because he's likely getting ready to receive a pass and put it behind your goalie.
That's supposed to be a secret, though. Like, we just let it out. Cat's out of the bag.
God, sorry. You know what?
Lindholm's stuck at 38 goals for the rest of the season.
Wait a second. It's all Chris.
Sorry, Lindy.
But the thing is like, if the borderline best playmaker in the entire league is standing behind the net, it's kind of your like, he's known to be like, it's not like he's known to pull a Michigan, right?
Right. That's right.
You should be looking for the other players, right? Like,
should be. I mean, Johnny has a fair bit of goals from being behind the goal line too, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember
he banked a couple in against Tampa. He
almost did a self-Michigan. It was like the self-Michigan pass where I was sitting there watching the game. He's sitting behind the net. He straight up flips it over the net and then goes up front and tries to whack his own flip in.
Right.
Leave Johnny alone. He's gonna get something like that.
Yeah, who the fuck tries that, right? Like that's elite. Like that's so good.
Yeah. So and just to rewind to Ferland a little bit, because the one play I always remember is Crosby was doing the Gaudreau thing where he was circling around the offensive zone and circling and making everybody look stupid. And then Ferland just skates by him, bodies him off the puck, goes on a breakaway and scores.
Yeah. Well, he was good for that, right? Yeah, Ferland. I love his story. I love almost everything about the kid. It's really unfortunate how his career ended.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It's really sad.
It's because he signed in Vancouver. It's his own fault.
You know what? Ty's right.
Yeah.
Fuck
Sorry,
Canucks.
Michael.
On record.
Sorry, Michael.
Your fault.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Don't wish ill will on anyone, but you done fucked up.
You done fucked up. No, we take the elite players from Vancouver, not the other way around. That's not how that works.
Yeah. But it is super disappointing that a player like, imagine what the rivalry would be between Calgary and Vancouver if like peak Ferland was still a thing.
Right. Yeah.
I would be worried for the health of our players. Like Monahan would have been
too.
injured way earlier, which might have saved us at the trade deadline. So we might have been able to thank the Canucks and Ferland for that one, you know?
Yeah.
But no, way to go, Ferland. You done fucked up.
Yeah.
That's your soundbite for tonight.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
So we've gone through Valimaki, we've gone through Stone a little bit. We haven't talked that much about Shillington.
What's there to say about Shillington? I mean, right? He's still the same guy.
Having a great year.
Yeah, having a great year. When he was practicing on that fifth line as a winger, I was not secretly hoping that he would be pushed up to maybe the fourth line or the third line as a winger. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen players go from being forwards to being full-time defensemen. Brent Burns has done it. That's right off the top of my head. That's the only one I can think of.
Bufflin did it, didn't he?
Bufflin was the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, but I don't think it's super rare to see a player go from defense to forward. The only one I can think of right now this year was Mark Pysyk in Buffalo. He did that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But I think he's the only one that's successfully done that. I can't think of anyone else that.
I'm sure it'd be a hard transition for him.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a lot of appreciation for his ability to create plays and be in the play and his ability to play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still, as many games as he's had this year and as good as he's been getting points and stuff, I do still have a problem with him playing defense. I don't know what that's going to look like in the playoffs. It actually, quite frankly, it terrifies me. Hopefully playing with Tanev, he can, get some of that out of him or cover some of those inefficiencies. And
hopefully, because he's got the tools. He's not small. He plays smaller than he is. He's 6'1", right? But
he's kind of lanky though,
Yeah, he is.
He's really filled out.
He's like Elias Pettersson. He's taller, but he's not incredibly weighty. We'll go with
Pettersson. This year he spent all last season like just weight training. He worked on his strength ton. Yeah. He's a bulky guy now. He doesn't look it on the ice, but he's one of the strongest guys on the Canucks team now.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Shillington. I really do. I always have, and the team, for years needed an offensive flair from the back end. And I really like his ability to do that. I just think he needs to choose better times to do it he has the ability to get back because he's so fast. And we have the defensive forwards that cover for him too, but we shouldn't need to rely on that so much.
Yeah.
Points. I know Chris feels this way, but and I do too, to a point. Again, we need offensive flair on the back end, but we also need defensive responsibility because you're a fucking defenseman.
Yeah.
Right.
So you said about Mangiapane, you think he's going to be the guy? I think it's going to be Shillington. I think he's either going to get traded or he's going to get an offer sheet. He looks good, and I think this is the best he will look because he's with Tanev. Tanev is giving that Tanev effect, letting him do his thing. Yep. And I think Shillington's going to be the odd man out.
So with that being said, Ty, so this year Shillington's making $750,000.
Yep.
What do you think an offer sheet would look like for Shillington that Calgary wouldn't cover?
I think there's a team that might offer him 5. I could easily see that.
God.
I was going to say 5.25 even. Yep. If I could be wrong here, I believe the compensation on that is a first and a third.
That sounds right. Yep. Yeah, that sounds right.
So I wouldn't mind that at all.
Both of you are 5+. Holy shit. Yeah. God, I'm out of touch.
I think unless he takes a crazy discount with Calgary, we are going to lose him, and he's going to sign for 5+ somewhere else.
Good.
I mean,
because if in my opinion, if it takes 5 to sign Oliver Shillington.
Yeah.
I don't want him.
No, that's the thing. Like,
I would be
think
happy.
he's peaked. I think this is the best he's going to be, and he might continue this for a couple of years. But I don't think there's any higher that he can go.
No.
Did you just Eric Francis Oliver Shillington?
I did.
Nice.
And it's
We
on
will
record here,
replay this. We'll replay this.
Excellent, as you should. Hold me accountable.
We'll put a little clown mask on you. And, yeah. No, I mean, I'd be happy with him next year at 3.5, maybe 4.
I was just gonna say 3.25 to 3.5 is my
but Mackey might not be ready, but like I think that Mackey plays the Shillington style, but with more defensive responsibility, and would be a great fit there. And $750K is a lot fucking cheaper than $4 million plus.
Yeah, we're gonna need that money for everyone else,
well,
right? That's the thing.
and we have Mackey signed for another year too, which is nice.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, like Zadorov and Goodbranson. I could see Goodbranson taking a bit of a discount to stay on a winning team because he's been on so many horrible teams in his career. Yeah. And he seems to like it in Calgary. But Zadorov, I don't see him re-signing in Calgary at all.
No, exactly.
We also have Walensky in the Heat. Like he's another guy who could be like a sleeper guy to come up to the roster and be ready.
I think he would be the guy that comes up near the end of the season and get him ready for potentially playoffs. I could see that. I don't think he's never played an NHL game. I think
I don't think so.
No, but he's been in the Calder Cup 3 times. He's got
really?
Yeah, he's got over 30 games played in the playoffs. That was with San Diego Gulls, and this year he's got 17 points in 32 games for the Heat. He's plus 14. Like
crazy.
He could be a guy that like no one knows about, no one talks about.
Yeah.
Because he is a depth defenseman down there, but he could be a guy that could fill in as well as like a league minimum contract if need be.
So we have a third person that's already jumped over Uso.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
The way I look at Walensky and his projection, like you look at Uso and you can say like if he figures out his skill set at the NHL level, he could be a top 4 eventually. You look at Mackey, probably top 4. You look at Shillington, probably top 4.
I disagree with Mackey. I
see
think
him like maybe 6.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's me with Mackey. I don't see him anywhere above number 5 or 6.
No?
No.
Interesting. That's
He could surprise me, but yeah.
We have 3 hot takes in one episode, fellas. Well done.
Oh God.
Settle
down. Sweating over here.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what to say about that because Mackey's done nothing but impress. Like I said, he had those two iffy games. Not even iffy, just not as good as the first one. I don't see him stopping at 5-6. I see him being top 4 in the relatively near future. But
he has 2 years of pro hockey in him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's a bit older at 25 because he was playing in college, right? But I honestly have him at the 3-4 spot.
Oh, okay.
Long term,
in 2 years.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, only time will tell, right? You know, the NHL is a different beast than obviously college and AHL for Connor. So,
and the other thing is like you had Shillington, if I'm not incorrect, you had Shillington as a move him away. He's nothing better than a 7th or maybe a 4th line winger or a 3rd line winger. And I always
still think that.
Why the fuck is he not playing more?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's always it's hard to tell, and like obviously everybody's opinions and thoughts are different. So
and like Tree, he likes to go out and like sign defensemen, right? In the offseason. Like that's what he does. Like look at this past one. He had Goodbranson, he had Zadorov, like the one before he went out and signed I can't remember the fucking guy's name.
Vandenberg.
Yeah. He signed Vandenberg. Like so he likes to fill these holes and our rookies don't necessarily get that chance, right? Like it was
Yeah.
very rare for Shillington that chance.
So
this year.
I think, and I remember the other year there, I think it was 18-19. It was, we signed, or sorry, Shillington started getting ice time finally and started actually playing pretty okay, I thought. And then the trade deadline came, and in came Derek Forbort and Eric Gustafson, and out, and don't get me wrong, I actually quite enjoyed Forbort's play.
I preferred him out of the two.
Yeah. But Eric Gustafson showed me literally zero reason why he plays in the NHL.
Well, yeah. Then he went back to Chicago, thinking he was going to pick his career back up where he left it off. Now where is he? Pretty sure he's a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I don't know where he is now. Yeah, haven't seen him for a while.
I think he's like a 6'7" guy. I can't remember where, but I think he's like a 6'7".
So
I'm curious.
So after you gave me those amazing stats from our stellar defenseman that we had for 17 games or however many games it was, what's our recap? Good, Johnny making a play to get himself over $10 million this season. Not sure why anybody would pay him less.
I'm thinking he gets 10.75.
Yeah.
On 7 years.
I can see that. It's got to exactly.
That's fair, yeah.
If he's going over 10 for me, it's got to be more than 5 years. That's my.
I think him and Chucky are going to have identical contracts.
I think so too.
I do
he's gonna
too.
look at that, and he's going to say like, "This is the cutoff. This is the level."
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I thought that they were going to sign identical 9.5 times 7 contracts.
Right.
But with the season they're having, I don't see it being.
No.
I see it being closer to 11 than 10, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could see Johnny wanting more years, like more term on the contract because he's a bit older. But I think Chucky might actually take a shorter term on his.
I can see Chucky doing a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, because he does love Calgary, but he always has in the back of his mind, like he from St. Louis. He wants to go there eventually.
Do you know what else the Chuck family loves? Fucking money.
What's that?
Yeah,
money.
haggling.
Oh, they love money. Right?
They love it, right? I'm not saying it's a fault.
When Brady's contract was up.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a fault or they shouldn't. I'm just I
here's the
think
other
Chuck
thing.
will do a shorter deal as well for that.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but here's the other thing: like the style of game Matthew Tkachuk plays.
Yeah.
If he, I'm not saying he's going to get hurt or anything like that, but the style of game he plays and the in your face type of person he can be, maybe by the time 3-4 years runs down, like it might be better for him to take a 7 or 8 year contract because his play could decline based on the classic Monahan broken bones or whatever.
I can't see that. He's not physical enough.
Yeah,
he's an agitator. He's not physical in it. I mean, he does take the occasional fight, all that stuff, but
no. Okay,
he's
I
become
don't think he has a fight this year, does he?
I don't think he has one this year. No,
he's
actually been
smarter.
He's
playing like a top line player, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's still getting somewhat in the face. He takes the dumb call every once in a while. He seems to really love bumping into goalies and mixing it up that way, which is great. That's what Chucky does.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think he's still a good agitator. I think he's just having the Gabranson and the Zadorov and the Lucci. Like before, it was just him and Luch, and now he's got this like army of people behind him, and he doesn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, that was the issue before. Like last year, pulled into the room. They had the sit-down meeting. No media was allowed in. No coaches or anything. And Chucky just wasn't the same after that. And that was after the whole thing with Muzzin, where like he just got gooned by like 3-4 players, and no one stood up for him.
Yeah. Well, and
I wonder.
And we got rid of the elephant in the room. He went to Seattle.
Yep.
And the culture of the Calgary Flames changed on that day.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, it really did.
I agree.
You know, God love Giordano, not, you know, no slight against him at all. But the culture of the Calgary Flames changed the day that he was drafted by Seattle.
Totally. Yep. 100% agree.
You know, we've got-
And
we now have
I'm
six
happy
leaders
he's
in the locker
gone
room.
home and playing. Apparently, he's playing really well. I don't watch many Toronto games because they drive me fucking insane. But apparently, he's playing pretty good over there. So
Dorian, you'll see enough clips online.
yeah,
Toronto games. All
They
right,
got stomped by Buffalo, which was awesome to watch.
that was nice. Yeah, that was nice.
and that was the Heritage Classic, wasn't it?
No, that was just a regular
like
game.
2 days
yesterday.
ago.
It was Owen Power's debut.
Oh,
though,
yesterday, right?
and
Yeah.
he
Did
had-
Power get any points or anything?
No
or-
points, but he had a couple amazing plays, a couple big hits, and he shut down a 2-on-1 where it was Gio coming in the zone with Matthews, and he just shut down a goal like by himself. It was incredible. He's
Nice.
going to be something special.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the horrible dad jokes with his name.
I'll write a few.
Yeah. kind of like when Quick was at the top of his game, the horrible dad jokes that came out of like Gene Principe's mouth and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Power's
it's
gonna get lots of.
when you put that kind of grease in your hair, right? Some greasy terms get out of your mouth, and it's just how it is. All right, fellas. We talk defense. Talk Johnny. Chucky hopefully gets that 100 point as well. And
That'd be
with any
nice.
luck, it's not weighing on his brain, right? Because I'd rather him just play free. The
Oh, I think now that he's accomplished it, he's playing free. He's
I think so.
monkeys off the
With
back.
Johnny,
Yeah, with Johnny. I'm talking about Kachuk. I'm hoping that he doesn't stress
Chucky,
out
yeah,
about
yeah.
trying to do it. I don't think he will. I mean, there's plenty of time for him. We've had 3 bold predictions. If you like what those predictions are, make sure you comment. If you don't like the predictions, definitely make sure you comment. Okay? Hit
Mhm.
that.
Put us
hit-
on blast.
Yeah,
Do
hit
it.
and smash that subscribe. Share this with your friends and family. We're here till the bitter end. We're talking Flames every day, baby. From Dylan, Ty, and Chris, thanks for watching episode 6, everybody. Have a great day.
Cheers.